This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hi, I'm Matt, level 1 judge from Davis, California, and this is my Omnath Locus of Mana deck. This is Omnath, Locus of Mana. It's in foil Japanese, so here's his English version. He's a legendary elemental. Green mana doesn't empty from your mana pool as steps and phases end, and he gets +1/+1 for each green mana in his mana pool. So he's just a big green mana machine. Just ramp a bunch of lands, dump a bunch of mana into him, bash, and play a lot of big spells in the process. So first we have the forest, 25 snow-covered forest. Alright, first non-basic is Dryad Arbor. Only purpose in the deck is to green some Zenith for him on turn 1, so you can play Omnath on turn 2. Gaea's Cradle, play a bunch of dudes, make a bunch of mana. Mosswort Bridge lets you play big things for cheap, and Omnath usually turns them online pretty quickly. Yavimaya Hollow regenerates Omnath and other utility creatures. Winding Canyons. This one lets you cast Omnath after he dies and before the mana disappears. Rogue's Passage makes him unblockable. Strip Mine and Wasteland for the land destruction package. Miren the Mourning Well and Diamond Valley, both used to sacrifice Omnath to save him from removal spells like Duplicant and Path to Exile and cards like that. Bazaar of Baghdad, draw 2, discard 3, not too bad. Eye of Ugin usually tutors up the 2 Eldrazi's and Duplicant. Right. Mana Ramp, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Mana Vault. All the artifact accelerants. Rofellos adds green mana equal to the number of force you have. Sakura-Tribe Elder ramps on turn 2. Earthcraft. This is altered by Sean Patchen. It says tap an untap creature you control, untap a basic land you control. So play like Avengers, Zendikar, untap a lot of forest, play more spells. Yavimaya Dryad, Farhaven Elf, Wood Elves, all little dorks that get a forest out of your deck. Kodama's Reach and Cultivate. Turn 3 accelerants. Guarantees a land drop during the next turn. Sad Robot, everyone plays him. Land, draw, good stuff. Oracle Mul Daya lets you play more lands, plays lands off the top of the deck that you're going to draw anyway. Vernal Bloom lets all forest add an additional green. This does benefit everyone else, but you're playing more forest than most people. Mwonvuli Acid-Moss destroys lands. I usually destroy utility lands over colored lands, but screw people over on land colors sometimes, and it ramps. Ranger's Path, Hunting Wilds, Skyshroud Claim, Exploding Vegetation, Reap and Sow, they all do the same thing. They get 4 mana, get in lands. Mana of Reflection makes everything tap for twice as much. This involves Rofellos and Gaea's Cradle. Cage Sun doubles all the forest, or any land that makes green, makes it add another one. Rings of Bright Hearth. This is one of my favorite cards in EDH. Lets all the activated abilities get copied. Yeva. This is another Winding Canyon type effect. Omnath dies one reason or another. You get to play him off of his floating mana, and you could play this as well after like a Wrath effect. Seedborn Muse untaps everything during everyone's turn, so I could float mana in between everyone's turns. Draw spells, Senseless Divine Top, no explanation. Sylvan Library usually lets me draw 2 cards, lets me look at the top of the deck, and then I play a search effect and filter them away. Scroll Rack, not really draw, but it lets you put cards away that you don't need, find cards that you need, and then you shuffle them away. Greater Good, mainly as a sack outlet for Omnath. You draw a bunch of cards, save them from nasty removal, find cards that you need. Momentous Fall, same thing, but not a permanent. Mind's Eye, floating, all the floating mana in between everyone else's turn, you use that to draw more cards. Memory Jar, artifact, lets everyone draw a bunch of cards, but usually ends up being a mill 7 for everyone else. Regal Force, usually get this with Tooth and Nail, with Avengers End a card, draw a bunch of cards. Kozilek, draws 4 cards. Earliest I've played him is turn 4. Mainly actually in here for the graveyard recovery. Just pitch him to Bazaar, or just end of turn discards. Creature tutors involve Defense of the Heart. If my opponents have 3 more creatures than me, I sack this, get 2 things like Avengers, Zendikar, and Regal Force. Natural Order, sack a green dude, get a green dude. Pretty simple, get big things for cheap. Chord of Calling, I usually use this to get my general out of my deck if someone tucks him away, or I just get Avengers, Zendikar, Regal Force, Duplicant. Another Altar by Sean, Green Sun Zenith. This gets most of my deck. My removal suite, Brittle Effigy. Not enough people play this. Exile, removal, really good. Fight Bear usually has Omnath battle with creatures before they get to block. Corrupting Grip, not sure who altered this. I picked it up somewhere. Really good card. Acidic Slime, usually in most green decks, has an answer to most problems. Predator Flagship, pay 2 to give a target creature flying, and then pay 5, tap, destroy target creature with flying. So this usually gets rid of my issues with dragons, or lets Omnath fly over to kill someone. Duplicant, exile removal and colorless, really good, gets rid of Iona or other problem things. Still Hellkite, kills token armies, kills problematic permanents, and the fire breathing effect can't kill someone. Karn Liberated, usually a double Vindicate, never actually tried to restart the game. Woodfall Primus, destroys any non-creature twice. Terracodon, blows up things, gives some elephants. I've actually blown up my own stuff to give myself elephants with Necroma's Memorial in play and just kill people. Ulamog, indestructible, vindicates when I cast him, shuffles graveyard when I need to. Recursion, don't have that much. Codex Shredder is one of my favorite cards from Return to Ravnica. It has a mill effect that doesn't really get used that much. Usually 1 to mill a top after someone draws it. And then 5 to buy something back from the graveyard. This is my favorite card to go with rings, because the copy will bring back the actual Codex Shredder. Eternal Witness, everyone's favorite green staple. Genesis, pay 3, buy something back. Praetor's Council lets me pick up my graveyard and play everything again. Don't have to discard ever. My win conditions in this is rings. This one gives Omnath Trample. The adding +1/+1 counter is irrelevant. Bellowing Tangleworm. If people aren't playing green, this usually lets Omnath get through for lethal. Kamal, overrun with either my tokens or Omnath. Mindslaver, usually just take over someone's turn, screw them over so I could win the following turn. Lets me combo with rings and Codex Shredder to lock some people out of the game. Avenger Zendikar, put a bunch of lands in play, make a bunch of plants, play more lands, give the plants a bonus. Chroma's Memorial, every creature becomes a Chroma. Craterhoof Behemoth, I do land Avenger at a pretty high token count, so landing this afterwards gives all of them a bonus and trample. I usually win the game after this lands. Tooth and Nail has a bunch of combinations I could pull from. If I'm in a really tight pinch, I get both the Eldrazi's. If I need to draw something, I get Avenger Zendikar, Regal Force, or just fit to the situation. And Genesis Wave, put X things into play. Really fun when I usually don't cast this under 10. I could usually cast it for at least 15 every time. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and favorite. And also, if you want to see more content, you could also subscribe to Top and Go Production